lived alone in a small
Hi guys.
house on a hill.
Welcome to an audio
Isaac
fuck-up on my own part.
Drawing pictures and
You see,
with his
I had
toys
actually
as his mom
recorded an
watched
entire
Christian
live
broadcasts
commentary
on
run of the
television.
game. But due to a mistake on my part, well, the live audio didn't record, so I'm stuck post-commentating this run. So, welcome to Day Zero of Let's Play The Binding of Isaac. Welcome to Day Zero, Let's Play The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, just because I felt like I might as well do it. I've been waiting so long to do this, play this damn game. Just counting down the days. Well, counting down the days after Smash Brothers came out anyway. That came first on my priority list.
Isaac's soul is still corrupt.
Anyway, another 17 days or so, the new Smash Brothers for Wii U will release. But I suppose in the meantime, we might as well just go over the game itself. I mean, why not?
As she locked
We've already about described everything else. We've already about done everything else we can do with this video. So, yeah.
Isaac's mom heard the voice.
Welcome to Day Zero. Let's play The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, post-commentating the original video, which is gonna suck because the original video was so much more full of life and audio and just general happiness and sadness and stress. Having actually had all this happen to me, yeah, I'm not gonna be so enthused anymore.
I require a sacrifice.
Anyway, this intro is pretty much the same as the original game, but with, I don't know, the animation feels more fluid to me.
Offering to me to prove you love me above all else. Yes, she replied.
So yeah, as the narrator, will be back in a bit.
Isaac, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around this room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trapdoor to the basement, hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door, and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
So yeah, I, the narrator, am back, and as you can see, some of the characters have had their conditions changed. Lockbeat 2 allows them to take damage, 3 deals with the devil, because apparently just 2 was no longer enough for this guy, Lazarus for 4+ soul hearts, and Eden, who doesn't explain a goddamn thing. Anyway, because Isaac's the only guy I can play as right now, we decided to play as Isaac, for pretty much obvious reasons. Anyway, as you saw it's worth mentioning for this, I'm using the controller and not the keyboard, because there's actually more support for it now. Over here we have some new enemies. They look like shit. No, literally, they look like shit. So moving on, we have these guys, and we're hitting and as you can see, I'm currently moving around and hitting them. It's basic stuff so far, and the game gives me the umbilical cord, a trinket right off the bat. And as you can see now, we're gonna move down into this next room, where we're gonna be encountering these guys. You may remember them from the original Isaac, and they haven't changed at all. So yeah, they haven't really changed much, if at all. Apart from the fact they seem to be shooting less frequently, and generally projectiles seem to be smaller. Now, getting a key here, moving on to the next room, we find these fly enemies. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Anyway. See, now you know the day I'm editing this, because I know the time of the day I'm editing this. Anyway, we have a key here, but I don't want to go to the boss door yet, because I know the Binding of Isaac, and I want to get an item. So instead, I turn back around and head back and look for the item room. Which means I go off to the left and find the first sacrifice room of the game, which I turn my nose up at and turn back around because that would be a stupid idea. Without very many options left, I go upwards and find these dudes, including these hive enemies. who continue to explode like jackasses. Also, their crying sounds a lot different now. It's a lot more creepy. Now it actually sounds like a little boy. It sounds like it could be a little kid crying instead of the distorted monstrous voice it had before. And over here we have another key, which I apparently missed, and then go back for. Meet the first type of meet the little worm enemies of sorts. These guys are a precursor to the ones you'd find in the womb in the original game. They're still annoying, but they're less annoying than their later counterparts anyway. So in here we have the Halo of Flies, which protects against projectiles and also is kind of rare usually. I got lucky finding it, I think. And then I stand here for a while and look at the bombs. And then I'm trying to figure out how to use the bombs, because the game didn't give me any idea actually how to use my controls. And then over here in the menu, we can see various things, which I didn't really look into. I didn't care. I just played the game. However, I tried to bomb this bomb out of the rock, and it didn't really work out. As you can see, the bomb kind of exploded. And therefore, I lost both my bomb and that one. And now I have no bombs at all. So anyway, the Halo of Flies in hand, there's not much left to do but head for the boss room, because I've pretty much explored everywhere on this floor that I actually care to explore. I mean, I suppose you could go find the shop, but I don't have any money, so it'll be kind of pointless. So, Isaac versus Dingle. This is a boss the creator teased several times, but I didn't expect to see him here in the basement. And I guess I probably should have. Anyway, the boss itself summons more of these little shits. I'm not even being derogatory, they're literally... And he also has an annoying Cardi Jr.-esque attack that starts draining my health out really freaking quick. So I'm over here shooting at all these dingle things, and I'm getting smacked around a lot by this thing. And then the umbilical cord kicks in and gives me little Stevie, the homing projectile baby partner thing. This is the first and last time I'll be seeing the umbilical cord in action. So anyway, with this, he continues to Gertie Jr. act. He continues to Gertie Jr. at me, and I continue to shoot back. He's down to about half health right about now, as you can see. Is it just me, or are these guys weaker than they used to be? I don't know. Anyway, a little more work, a little more draining of his health, a little more beating up these little shits. These quite literal little shits. When can you actually use that thing and not sound like a brat? So continuing, we have this guy, and his health is almost completely drained out now, and Dingle's down. And for a reward, we get Mr. Squeezy. And Mr. Squeezy gives us two soul hearts, just like he used to, and increases the rate of firing of our tears. So yeah, that's the end of the first floor. Only 5 more to go, and then we can fight Mom. No, that's not gonna happen, is it? Come on, guys. Come on now. This is the first time playing the new game. There's no way in hell. We all know that, so let's get that hope out of our head right about now. So I'm sitting here in the basement, looking around, realizing that's actually a boss challenge door, and over there is a fight, and over there is a curse door. Then we run into these guys. These flies band together in a swarm and try to attack me. I'm not putting up with that nonsense, and I just move around and pretty quickly put them out of their misery. The game gives me a soul heart for this achievement, so I go do it and go through this door, where I meet a new item. And I stare at this thing for a while before picking it up. It's called the Headless Baby. And I'm not sure what it does originally. It's just bleeding everywhere, and I just don't like it. It kind of disturbs. It sounds like it's not doing much at first. Yes, I did. Hi, I'm in the middle of something. That was my mother. Get in here, and get in here. And if you're gonna help, come on and help out. I'm over here post-commentating because I lost a live audio cue. Yes, I was about to say I heard good things. So yeah, don't talk about him though. So here we have some new enemies of sorts. We have this fat dude and these waddling slowpoke things, which just broke apart in nothing. Yeah, just quiet, sort of. Not really. Okay, I don't know what the big dude is myself. The big dude's just kind of fat. It reminds me. Over here we have, and that's a bomb, which is the first one I've been able to get since wasting that old one. And this is the first time we run into the fly enemies that shoot at us, which is pretty funny because usually I see these guys on the first floor, and it took a while for them to appear this time around. So I moved on and got past this guy. And he's got, he's shooting at me. He's a lot slower than he used to be, I swear.
He is.
The game's also lagging, so there's that. This is our first encounter for beggar, but I don't have any money. Over there is a shop door, but I don't have any money, so I just move on. And we have these guys. More of these stationary turret enemies that I'm just gonna pretty quickly pick off one by one, if I'm not mistaken. So I go through here, pick off these guys.
Is that the umbilical cord?
Yes, it is. Alright. That's the umbilical cord. Over here this is the treasure chest. I use a bomb on these rocks. Takes me a few tries on the controller. It's LB, by the way, to get it open. And inside is some money. So I could have gone back and gotten the beggar, but I didn't. Instead, I decided to advance to the boss room, where we get to fight the Gurglings, a baby form of Gertie Jr.
Wait, what? Dude.
Yeah, they're called the Gurglings, but these guys really aren't too much of a threat. You may have noticed they do, but you also notice the headless baby and bleeding blood everywhere. They're taking damage when they walk over it, so I'm also leaving a creep trail lying around as I walk around the room. Which is pretty cool. I know, I said that during the actual video when I actually figured out what was going on, but I didn't realize what was going on during this fight. This fight, I just realized that these guys weren't actually being nearly as obnoxious as their older brother was. I hate Gertie Jr. with a burning passion, you know, and I wasn't happy to see this boss on the second floor. But, so yeah, so I've dealt with them, and Monstro's Tooth appeared in the basement, so it was our first achievement of sorts. The Cat of Nine Tails appeared, but also so did the Devil Room. And being a curious guy, I went in and didn't recognize either of these items. So I put out the torches because why not, and I decided to say to heck with it, and I went for the green baby, whatever it was. I had to think about it for a bit though, because I was just like, it's a devil room this early on. Do I want to go for it? And I did. I took the rotten baby. And so, moving on to the third floor of the dungeon. We are in the Caves 1. Over there was a door room I could have gone into, but I chose not to. On the left is a sacrifice room of sorts. This time I decided to go inside. I go through a cursed door, I go into this room, and whatever this is, I don't know how to put out these blue flames. And so I feel like I wasted my time coming in here. I tried sitting next to them, just let this blue fly circle around for a bit, nothing. So in the end I have to leave. Maybe only bombs put them out? I don't know. Next time we run into that thing, which died so quickly I couldn't actually find out what it did. So I moved on to the next room, and this is our first encounter of a room that's more than one square. As you can see, the room scrolls horizontally. It also includes the jumping Gibdos, who are on fire to make matters worse. In the middle we have this guy who's jumping against the flames, but doesn't actually seem to be doing anything. Notice he actually is on fire. Now, watching it back, I didn't see the figure. When I actually killed him, he exploded into that. It was a trap. And even so, I dodged it pretty easily. So yeah, this is our first encounter with the room that's bigger than one square long. Going inside here, we get the sad bombs, which gave me 5 bombs and tear blasts, or so it said. I don't know what tear blasts are, or I didn't know what they were at the time. I know now, but I'm not saying. So then we run into these guys. I remember them from the original game, but once again, they didn't put up much of a fight with the rotten baby I picked up, who, as you may have noticed, is spawning attack flies. As soon as one dies, he spawns another one. Anyway, over here we have some wall hazards that follow your position throughout the room. And we got a coin here. So moving on, we run into these homing guy things, and continue on to move through here. So yeah, we've already been through all those other rooms, so we go upwards, and there's a gold key chest here, which requires me to use 2 bombs to get in there, which made me ask, is it worth it? Up there, as you can see, we have a rock of sorts I could put a bomb into. We have another rock of the bomb, and I use the bomb here, and this is what the tear blasts are. The bomb explodes, it also creates a maelstrom of tears. Maelstrom's not really the right word, but yeah, anyway, it's like a portable Tommy's head, which means that Tommy's head is even more worthless than it already was, which is saying a lot, because it kind of sucked. So over here, so that chest had 2 keys in it, so I wasted 2 bombs for basically a profit of 1 key. Not really worth it. But over here, but I'm now back to the amount of keys I have for starting the floor, so one way it is worth it. Anyway, those guys are done. I got a heart out of it, which is a pain, which is too bad because I didn't actually have any room for it. And over here we had a key block. Usually I don't see these things that are in the dungeon. You usually see them around the depths. So I opened it up, watched it crumble. I opened up this chest, and all I got for it was a troll bomb and a coin. Not worth it in the slightest. But yeah, with the item already in hand, I go to the boss room, and it's some guy called Mega Fatty, who is just weird. His attacks consist of farting, occasionally shitting, occasionally pumping out another little shit, and shitting on you. Oh, and jumping in the air, whereupon he creates a little trail creep from where it was. He also can try to suck you in a la Kirby. Oh, and this attack I've decided to call PK Shitstorm. So yeah, he can shit in your direction, he can create little shits, he can jump, or he can create PK Shitstorm. That about sums up this guy's attacks. He doesn't really have much besides trying to suck you in. And yeah, that about sums up Mega Fatty, and also that's the end of the boss fight. So moving on to get the screw, which is the tears and shot speed up, which, well, what can I say? That stuff's always good. Tears up, shot speed up, good. So yeah, continuing on with the dungeon, we're on the 4th floor now, and caves 2, which is pretty good. Can you believe I've been recording for there's audio for 16 minutes? So we're up to these guys, who I thought were originally just a different version of the spider, until I saw this guy create one. I'm just like, oh, beautiful. Gigantic spider spawners. So, but that guy spawned a spider. What's the red one do? Anyway, that's the Hangman. That'll come in handy later. The Hangman, as you may know, is a car that gives you levitation. But, anyway, these guys are back, and they're still annoying. These guys can be used to try and open up secret rooms if you can use those green bombs they shoot to your advantage, but these ones shoot in random directions, so it's not worth trying to get them to aim. But luckily, this guy did open up the way to the pill for me with that blast, so I didn't have to waste a bomb to get it, or even worse, waste the Hangman. The pill, I didn't know what it did, but I used it, and it was a speed up, which was good. There's some bad ones in the game, though, so keep that in mind. I got the Hangman, and then I found the arcade. Which, there's supposedly different versions of the arcade, but I found the classic one, and I decided to play for the Scatole. We're here for a bit. So the first time I try, I get a fly, and the fly dies. The second time, we're playing for coins, and I succeed, and I get 2 coins out of it. Third time, I try to play for a third time, and it's for a key. He shuffles up the things. I try to give him one, and I get 2 keys out of it. So I'm doing pretty okay right now. And then I play again, and it's for another key. I give the thing. I'm wrong. It's an attack fly that time. So we move on, and I leave after that. I've got 3 keys, 4 bombs, and 4 coins. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Now we're going to these guys, more of these gigantic spiders. These ones, though, actually spew out red things. Also, it turns out when you kill, this guy is huge, and he's spitting out these red things in a lob formation for whatever reason. He also seems to get more aggressive when there's only one of them left in the room. Then the game gives me the golden key. I'm just like, well, I'll go nuts with that. Then we run to these guys, these Dry Bones ripoff. And if my computer would not go to sleep mode, that'd be fantastic. Anyway, moving on. These guys are Dry Bones ripoffs of sorts. They throw bones at you and they walk around. And that about sums them up. There's nothing really special here besides just, them being generally annoying. They throw bones at you. That about sums them up. There's really not much of a threat from these guys, but they can still catch you off guard. Like I said, the Halo of Flies is doing a fantastic job reflecting projectiles. Plus, I may have accidentally stumbled upon a good strategy to deal with Gurney in the future without having to take 50 billion hits later on. Oops, excuse me. I may have spoiled something there. Not really. So yeah, caves 1. Moving on, we head over into this room, and there's these dudes. This guy's like a double-headed version of the spitter guy. Anyway, more hazards on the wall. Not really much of a threat. They're gone pretty quickly, and I get a key. Not gonna really matter to have the golden key right now. And then we run into these more dry bones rip-off enemies, and they still don't pose a threat at all. Really, can we move on to the next room? Thanks. That thing on the map over there, as you can see, is a sacrifice room. Over here we have... I didn't see the spider until it hit me in the face, because I wasn't looking for it. I didn't see that. I was too busy focused on the wall hazards over there, which are currently engaging in some engaged to Jabberwock style shit. And over here we have our first gigantic room. 4 squares, a 2x2 square room. We have these worms here, which are trying to kill me, obviously. Everything is trying to kill me, but they're doing some really weird shit. And we quickly kill that guy off. He's the one we saw in the early dungeon. These guys have orbiting projectiles, which are just weird. So yeah, I spent a bit of time trying to run around this room because it's huge. It makes it a little hard to track the freaking things down. Like I'm trying, like it's like trying to chase a ghost, because they keep moving around every time I get near them. So we're in this room for a while, just shooting around, trying to hit this obnoxious enemy that keeps moving, and eventually it comes up in a spot and kill it, and I probably do so. And all the game gives me for all that is a troll bomb. Haha, funny. Anyway, the golden key, I have infinite keys for the floor, and I pick up probably one of the most controversial items of the playthrough, the cursed eye. It says cursed charge shot. I'm trying to figure out what the heck that means. The charge shot, as you can see, I no longer can shoot normally. I can only shoot a charge shot, so I have to hold down the button for a bit. It's my least favorite type of item. Anyway, these things are weird. What are they, walking landmines? I don't know. Whatever they are, they go down pretty quick. I'm still not sure what the heck these things are besides just tubby and slow. And it's another red heart, which I still can't use, because I have these soul hearts that are kind of preventing me from actually taking any real damage. So, moving on, we go into this room, and we find Mr. Ask for a Face again, who proves that he shoots out stuff in 6 directions, as well as several embryos. Well, the embryos are embryos, and they're still jokes. There's just no health bar on them this time, though. Over there in the left corner is a... No, those are pits. That was the next much of the spot rock for a second. Over here we have not the enemy I like to call the re-dead enemy. You need to take them out and then take out their little lump of thing. As you can see, the creep is injuring them, and this is when I actually realized what's going on with it. I'm still not sure when exactly Isaac turned gold like that, but whatever, man. Maybe it's the cursed eye that did it. And I'm thinking, oh, what the heck, I have a golden key, I can go into the shop. And what do you know, it's Greed, our first encounter with the 7 Sins boss. Who doesn't do anything different. No, really. This is, by Greed standards, easy. I don't know what's going on, but whatever it was, Greed goes down really quickly like a wuss, and I get myself some coins out of the whole deal. Anyway, it's worth mentioning that since I've had the cursed eye, I haven't taken a single hit. Well, we're about to go into the boss fight with, oh, hello, it's Gertie, one of my least favorite bosses. I say to hell with this shit, and I decide to use the hangman to get rid of him quickly. And it's going pretty well. I hit him with the charge shot a few times, getting used to it, counting the amount of time it takes to actually charge the thing, and getting used to hitting him with it. It's going over pretty easily. The hard shot does pretty good damage to a boss that, quite frankly, is a tank. Like, Gertie tanks hits like you wouldn't believe, but you wouldn't know that how fast his HP is draining. So far, things are going really smoothly. The Halo of Flies is catching any stray projectiles, and I'm doing things. But then I get hit and the cursed eye kicks in, and that's when things go sour. See, the cursed eye, when you get a hit, then you take a hit, has a chance of teleporting you out to a random room in the dungeon. Which meant I got thrown out of the boss fight mid-fight. And as you know, if you leave a boss room mid-battle, it goes back to full strength, and you're stuck with what you have. So I miffed. I go back into the room, and I actually couldn't. even without the hangman, I proceed to try the same strategy I was using against it with the hangman. And it takes me about midway to the boss fight to realize I don't have the hangman, and it's working out just as well as when I did. So, maybe I should try this strategy from now on. The Halo of Flies, as I said, is doing a fantastic job taking care of any of the catching most of these projectiles coming my way. Blocks most of them. The moving from left to right strategy quickly starts to wear Gertie down, and I'm thinking I might want to use this strategy from now on, just because it seems to be doing a fantastic job of keeping me from getting hit, which is more than I could say for how I used to handle this fight. So yeah, that's Gertie, you know. Gertie. Not very tough. He went down like it was too. Well, no, he was a little harder, especially, but... And then I was really paranoid, because I didn't want the cursed eye to kick in, so I figured it would actually take in every hit now. I was wrong about that, obviously, but Little Chubby has now appeared in the basement, because I beat Gertie. I got the magic scab, which was a container and a luck bonus. That's saying something. You usually couldn't get luck in the original game from an item, you can only get it from a pill. So, we're continuing on with the level, and we've run into this, and we're now in the Depths 1. At this point, I am amazed I've lasted this long on my very first attempt to try to get through Rebirth. Nah, these guys are just spawners. There's nothing special about these enemies, because, like, there's nothing to talk about, really. And it's over already. Next room. So going back to the original room, we go south, because I'm not going into a dual room, and we run into these guys! They look familiar. I hate their guts. Or rather, I hate their brain. It's their weak point. Their face is annoying to hit as shit. So continuing onwards, I'm just going to keep going. And like, I noticed these guys really aren't charging me as aggressively as they used to. Like in the original Binding of Isaac, I swear they move faster. But it might just be the lag talking, so maybe I'm wrong. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The controller, the analog input makes this game much, much, much easier in some ways due to how much more maneuverable Isaac is. Heck, this is actually better Day Zero content than the actual live commentary at this point, just because of the fact that I can go over it with an analytical mind and not, oh god, I'm gonna die. So what happened, and there's not much you can do about it now. So, ask for a face. One asked for a face dead, and now for the other one. They're both dead. So yeah, the charged cursed eye has a decent amount of power behind it, as you can see, but at the cost of possibly being kicked out of the boss room like I was earlier. Anyway, these guys are still managing to be a complete joke compared to how much I used to hate them. But I don't trust these skulls. They looked to me a lot like a certain bunch of turrets in the original game I can mention, but it turns out those worries were completely unfounded, because the actual enemies still look like their old counterparts. These are just decoration. So for what I decide to shy away from the 4-square room and go downwards for now, and I find these keys. These keys annoy I'm like, seriously. What, we haven't had enough Zelda joke? We haven't had enough Zelda enemies? We're gonna bring the bats in too? I'm gonna eat those words later when I see another Zelda enemy I despise. But for now, we don't have much to talk. For now, not much to say. Continuing on there, though, we run into these guys. These guys are pretty tame seriously, compared to my hatred I used to feel for them. They're kind of a joke right now. So yeah, they're done. I got the key. I go into that item room to pick up the item inside. And the item in there is the ball of tar. If you had actually seen the only gameplay footage we've seen before the game came out by strangers, the ball of tar was an item they had. It gives you sticky feet, as you can see. It also turns me into this thing. Over there's a sacrifice room, and I'm just like, yeah, no. So I head up back upward toward the top of the thing here, and I'm just continuing my way through the game. And well, I've been recording for about a half hour, so I suppose I'm not surprised. The narrator will be right back. Also, we run into these ghost enemies. I quickly grow to hate them, and this is the first time I take a hit without being kicked out of the room with the cursed eye attached. So I now know that, so this is my first indication that having the cursed eye does not necessarily mean being kicked out after every time you take a hit. continuing on for the depths, I'm heading over toward the left side, because there wasn't much else I could do besides head into the gigantic-ass room that I deliberately turned back from earlier. And once inside, there's a ton of enemies. They're all weird. They're all these dudes. When I hit them enough, they suddenly break forms into just a dry bones underneath. I'm like, what is this? And I like, what is this? Halloween? What is this? Monsters dressed up for Halloween? Like, there's another dry bones in there. And there's another. So, like, just a bunch of dry bones and costumes. But then that one was like a danger fly. There's a dry bones, and it's running away. Originally, I thought the slow effect was something else, because there's actually a fear effect in the game. And you want to know what I said when I realized this, before I realized the slow effect was? I'll tell you. When I thought it was a runaway effect, I said, turn undead? So yeah, all that, and I get a key for my efforts. A key which I don't really need right now. I have enough of those. But I go into the next room over here, and it's a beggar. So I look at him, debate giving him some of the money I suddenly have a ton of, but I decide against it and leave. Leave. Thank you. So I head upwards toward the door. The door on top, and inside is more fat-ass enemies and this jump and a gigantic version of the jumping Gibdo. There's not really much else to say about him. Although I realize there's creep by the door and wait for it to go away. Which eventually it does, and I go inside. I still try to break these blue torches and still don't know how to do it. And now we see the walking versions of the guy, who charge at me a lot faster than their floating counterparts. And also aren't as dumb. Also, the tar thing, as you can see, is kicking in, making them move super slow, making these guys easier to dodge than they ever were in the past. I just got really lucky on this playthrough, is all I really have to say. Looking back at it and realizing how many good items I had. Going in here, we find a shop with a soul heart, which I buy, and the PhD. I never see the PhD on a playthrough, and I took full advantage of that. So heading upwards, we run into this invincible chomping enemy and some keys. The invincible chomping enemy proceeds to kill off the bat and then fall apart. Which means it seriously is invincible and you need to kill everything else in the room to make it vanish. So moving on, we run into more enemies in Halloween costumes! This one had a danger fly in it. And you're dry bones. For that I got a key. And then I make the stupid mistake of heading all the way back to look for the item room before I realize I already had the item. So we get to bear with me for a minute while I'm an idiot. But first I go into this room and find some more of these dudes in a room that... Well, I've seen some boss battles in rooms that look like this. So yeah, things went over really well so far. Things are just going fantastic for me. I'm having good items. I haven't had a single item I didn't want or need. And I'm just continuing on to the dungeon, and I eventually realized that yeah, maybe right about here, that I've already been to the item room. Yeah, I think this is around the point where I pull up the map, realize I've already been to the item room. By the way, I pull up the map, press select on the controller, and I go back, and then I turn around and head back for the boss room. There's only one boss left before the final floor, and we already know what boss is on that floor, so who's it gonna be? So what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be a new one? Is it gonna be an old one? Will I win? Will I lose? Is it a boss I hate or a boss I adore? Is it a boss I like or a boss I dislike? It's Monstro 2! Probably one of the best outcomes I could have had, because I absolutely love this boss. I'm amazing at handling it. Like, Monstro 2 is probably one of my favorite bosses to run into in the depths, just because it's an easy boss. Like, there's no other way to put it. So yeah, Monstro 2 is completely unchanged, and you can tell my game's lagging a lot. But, hey, as far as I'm concerned, the boss itself is still going over rather nicely. admit the laser missed by a long shot. I'm just continuing on with the video. And I took a direct hit to the face there. Luckily, the cursed eye didn't kick in, or this could have been ended badly. So he goes down. So anyway, yeah, he's about half health right about now. Well, actually, more like a 2/5. I don't know. So he's got this, and he's spawning in these other guys of sorts. So he's just going down. He spawns in more of his little attack fly dudes that explode. But they go down pretty quickly, and he's almost dead. He's also slow at the moment, as you can see. Well, not anymore, but now he's almost dead. Come on, game. See, Mushroom 2 is a pretty easy boss, and at this point I'm worried the Cursed Eye is going to screw me over, so again, I'm taking extra care and taking care of his minions. When the last one dies, I get the magic mushroom, which I was super happy about. After all, it's an all stats up item. It's amazing. So with all stats up, I continue on with the game and go to the final floor, and I'm just like, I didn't expect to get this far on the first run through of the game. The depths too, the last floor I could hand it, the last floor. We find these gigantic piles of shit. Okay then. There's really not much to say about them besides they're just bigger versions of the shit enemies that spawn more shit, that spawn more little shit enemies. That's it. There's not much else to say. We're fighting walking piles of fecal matter with eyes. Yeah, that's about all I can really say about this at this point, because I think I've done the poop jokes to death. You have to kill them all to open the door, anyway. And in the next room, if I'm not mistaken, I'm about to get a very nasty surprise. Anyway, I got a nickel here, and I was happy about that. In the next room, we get a very nasty surprise. Not this room. We decide to leave this room and come back later. I get a very nasty surprise in a second. You hear Mom's laugh? That means something. Move, and keep moving, or else that happens. There's wall masters in this game. And Isaac's face about imitates how my reaction was to that. Anyway, with that in mind, I chose not to go that way and decided to go another direction in the dungeon for now. So I go over here, then I head over to the left and discover this corridor, which is full of invincible enemies that try to suck you in. In other words, it's just like a certain Pegasus boots chamber in Link's Awakening. I don't know why. Anyway, that was a pointless area that just got me a coin. It was not really worth it at all. So, once I realized that, I try to bomb open this wall, in hopes it's a secret room. It's not. I wasted my time. So I move on. I head back through here, run into these sucking guys, and just quickly escape the room. And I decide to head south. And here I get warped back one room, and then go right back inside. Here I get warped back, think for a few seconds about where I am, and then decide to just head right back inside. It's these brain things again, what can I say? They're from the original Binding of Isaac. Over there in the middle is the turret I was worried those skulls were earlier. Anyway, I'm being very careful not to step on the creep. Despite the fact I'm probably not actually going to take any damage from it because I'm currently spewing tar wherever my feet land. I don't know. I didn't want to risk it, you see, so I just went over here and eventually got myself in the chest and got myself a key, a bomb, and a heart I couldn't actually pick up. So, we ran into these guys next, these fat, tubby dudes again. They jump. There really isn't much to say about that enemy, I haven't already said. So I decided to bomb this wall open in hopes that maybe it's a secret room and I can avoid going back through there. My instincts are right, and it is. Inside are 6 coins and a dude. A dude I kind of blow up. Sorry, man. You were me. And you were already dead. Here we run into the fast versions of the Read-It. I've called them multiple times over now. So yeah, continuing onwards, we run into that dude. It's pretty nice overall. We come in here, and there's the item room, the last item room of the game. And we run into the Gibdos, and more of these dudes. And just the Gibdos. Bloody Gibdos. They're weird. So in there is a key. A key I proceed to blow the wall open again. Key goes in here and we have Mom's pad. Gross. It's a usable item. That's the first and only one we got in the run. Which surprised me. Usually, I see a lot more of those things. But I only ever saw we only got the one usable item here. So I decided to go this way. And I need a key to get in there. I think it's the shop. Yes, the shop. So inside the shop, I find there's a broken stopwatch and this thing. I thought it was the 9-volt at first, but I tried to run over it and realized I couldn't pick it up. So I realized what it was. It was the mini battery the creator had been talking about. So I tried to figure out the item button I could use to use the item in the meantime. Wait. I didn't see that! Over there in the corner is a donation box. Probably could have put a coin in there. Huh. I gotta remember that. They had a donation box. Rainbow says, donate to your item. Rainbow says, donate to those who help you. So, I go back into this room with the Wall Masters. And these dudes, who it quickly turns out are the walking version of some of the most annoying enemies in the original game. So I decided I'm just going to skip out of this place, and all that's in here is a beggar. So I go back in here, and I run for the other door. Like as quickly as possible. I try to blow it open, and it doesn't actually work. Now, if I'd actually been paying attention, I might have realized something about that. Anyway, these things are actually taking damage from the creep trail, which is great for me, because I don't like wall masters in the slightest, and I'd rather not go face-to-face, I'd rather not go toe-to-toe with one. Luckily, these are actually the floor master variety, and not the Zelda 1 wall master. They don't chase you, they just drop down and try to kill you, and try to grab you once. Don't be an idiot. Walked into them, and you should be okay. Anyway, now the wall masters are dead. They're gone. There's both of them are gone, and so I can continue on with the floor. So I pretty quickly deal with these two. Like I pretty quickly deal with these jackass enemies. And I open up this door, and I open this thing. Here we have a key, 2 coins, and a bomb. It's not a bad haul. So I go in here. And this is why I couldn't get the door open. It's a 7 sins boss. It's Lust. It's our second encounter with one. So here we have Lust, who quickly dies due to the creep trail. It was kind of a joke. The PhD kicks in here and shows me what this pill is. I try to use it and accidentally use my use item. And anyway, the pill tears up. So yeah, it's coming down to the end now. We've not got much left to explore on this floor, besides through here. Anyway, going through here, I take a hit from these stinking spike traps, and I go in here where we have sparks. Seriously? This room is a time waster. There's not much else to say about it, besides just, really? That's a bomb, and I look at these bombs for a second, debate if it's actually worth trying to get them, and decide no. Anyway, this is a slot machine. I didn't feel like using it, so I went to the final boss. It's time to fight Mom. Now then, this is a surprise, just getting here. So over here we have these loops over here. We have... I get stomped and I get kicked out of the room via the Cursed Eye. Thanks, Cursed Eye. You suck. Isaac. So back to the Isaac versus Mom fight. We have Mom here who stomps down at the ground, as previously mentioned. She spawns enemies, but there's something different about this fight. She doesn't stomp down nearly as often, preferring to instead continuously pop her eyes and whatever that is out of the wall and pokes at you. Whenever she says Isaac, she'll spawn enemies. If she doesn't go, she isn't stomping down. That's what I learned pretty quickly in this boss. Anyway, continuing onward here, I'm actually down 2 heart containers now. Well, not 2 heart containers, I'm down 2 hearts, and I'm continuing fighting this boss. At this point, I'm about down to half. At this point, Mom's down to about half health, and I'm starting to feel very happy about it. I didn't expect to get this far, especially not on my first run. And I'm just continuing onward, and I just continue to fight. Eventually, like, I'm just killing off the enemies pretty quickly using the Curse Die's charge shot, charging fire, dodging out of the way when she gives off, when she indicates she's about to stomp down with her nubbly noises. And and that's it. First try win against Mom. I could not believe my own eyes, and this is an actor's reproduction of my original reaction. First try! Oh my god, I beat her on the first try! Yeah, I think that's enough of that. I'm post-commentating, so I'm not going to give you that reaction. But yeah, this is the ending. It's pretty much a redo of the original ending of the game. Sort of. You'll see why in a second. See, the ending looks like the original at first. You have the Bible falling off the shelf, whacking her on the head. And then you have Isaac stands on top of the defeated Mom. This is where it's different. In the original game, it was shown to be a drawing and more sketches. In this game, it's in full color, as she breaks open the door. So yeah, here's the credits of the game. As you can see, first try. There's no editing magic here. I haven't done anything besides re-add a post-commentary track on top of the game audio. And I can't help but say, I think this was a very good run overall. I just don't have words to describe the current happiness I feel over just this. What are the bloody odds? I got a bunch of good items. Special thanks to a shit ton of people. To 2 stars of religion coin, everyone who played the hell out of the... Ah, ha, ha, nice. You unlocked the womb. I got challenge 20 purist. I unlocked the harbingers. And I got a cube of meat. So yeah. Thank you. And I spent a bit of time just freaking out over here on the title screen over my perfect run. Well, not my perfect run, but my very first try run of the where I actually beat Mom. Do you have any idea how many times it took me in the original game? Holy shit. Anyway, over here we have the stats to prove it. No deaths, no items. A total of 15 items, 0 Mom kills for whatever reason. I think it's for real in the womb when I start counting up. 6 secrets and best streak of 1, whatever that is. But yeah. There you have it. There's your proof. I spend a lot of time on this screen just freaking out. So I think that about sums up the video for anyone watching. Thank you all for watching this video. Goodbye.